imagine that you are the CEO of your own law firm. Your firm is so successful. You are the head boss in charge. Your firm is so successful, it provides for you and your family, right? It brings in enough income to take care of you and your family. And while it's doing that, you're also providing great service to your community. I know a lot of us as attorneys have an inherent sense of fairness and justice and wanting to give back. And so you help your community, you make money while you're doing good. There's no shame in that, there's nothing wrong in that. You're successful, you're looked up to in your community. You give your clients so much and you serve them in a manner that is true to your heart and is true to your soul. And you do this every day and you wake up and you are so excited to go into work every day. You are proud of your law firm. And just imagine that you're doing so well. You're paying off your student loans faster than you can imagine. Your firm is doing so great. You have that elusive work life balance that you've always craved. And it's possible. It's possible when you run your own law firm, when you do it properly from the beginning. You can set your own hours. You can work when you need to, do as much or as little as you like, and just be who you want to be as a lawyer. But the question is, how do you get there? And I think that is the reason you are here today. It's something that has been nagging you for a while. So before I delve into all the goodies, you might be wondering, who am I and why am I hosting this? So besides being your moderator and your webinar organizer today, I am also a business lawyer practicing in fabulous Las Vegas. What happens here does indeed stay here, but for purposes of this webinar, feel free to tell anyone and everyone. So I'm a business lawyer. I practice primarily in the areas of business litigation. I also have a soft spot for people who are starting up their own dream and bringing it to life. Entrepreneurship really rocks my world. And so I help my current clients from the beginning. So when they come to me and they say, I have this great idea, what do I do? All the way to, oh, now I've set up everything, I'm getting sued, or now I'm trying to pass a legacy on to my children and my grandchildren. How do I put those trust and stuff in place? And then, unfortunately, sometimes you do have clients that are, trying to liquidate or go through bankruptcy. So I pretty much feel like a mama bear, right? I help my clients all the way from the beginning till the end, and whatever and in any capacity that they need that, I assist as much as possible. Also, you may know or not that I am an author. I have a book on Amazon, very, very similar to this topic, which is how to be the boss at your own law firm. So it's such a great book, not because I wrote it, because I know it is a great book, and from the feedback I have received, it has so much information. We start from your mindset to what to do in terms of putting up your law firm together. It goes into more details that I may be able to share with you today on this webinar. So if you want to, you can grab a copy at Amazon. And if you stay till the end, I might show you a little way you might be able to get a free copy of the book. Also, I also have it on digital on my website. That's another place that you may be able to get it. I'm also an entrepreneur. Starting your own law firm is a business venture, and part of what we're going to discuss today is how to start your law firm and treat it like a business. That is how you keep making money for yourself, for your family. That is how you keep giving great value to your clients. That is how you keep helping your community. So we want something that is built correctly from the beginning and makes you money so that you stay in business. I started my law firm now. It'll be 4 years this year. It's going to 5 years. I have ridden the tides, the waves, and the early beginnings. I experienced the famine and fist and all that cycle, but we have pared it down. We have gotten it to a point where we're super excited of what we've created, what we've done, and I want to share that with you today. I say all of this not to brag, but just to give you an insight onto who I am. So, based on everything that I have done, I have started mentoring. I've been doing this for a while now, but wanted to take it to a whole new level online to actually mentor law students who so need so much guidance, looking for information, don't know where to start from. And I don't want them to go through the same headache that I went through when I started my own journey. I remember not too long ago, during my second year as a practicing attorney in private practice, I will daydream about being my own boss. I would play around with the names of my own firm. I had some pretty cool names back then. I would map out my exit strategy from working for corporate America. I worked on the finances with my husband. I dreamt and I dreamt and I dreamt of owning my own law firm. However, those were just doodles in my mind. I had nobody to talk to. I had no mentor. I didn't grow up in a family full of lawyers and judges and all these people that I could just call. I didn't have a father-in-law or a father figure in law. I had absolutely nothing. But I knew I had a dream. I set out to achieve that dream. And there's a saying, if there's no road, you make one. I also like some Chinese sayings that, say, be like water. Water is so malleable. It goes around, it goes through, it goes under. So if you don't have a way, you make a way for yourself. And I took those sayings to heart and started to carve out a niche for myself and carve out the dreams that I wanted. I believe a lady named Marianne said this, that you don't wait to become the dream that you want. You create the dream that you want. So in this century and in this day and age, we have so many tools at our disposals to create the kind of life that we want. And I want to help you achieve that today. So that's who I am. That's what I'm about. But before we get, too far gone, I want to take a very quick poll. I want to see, just also to make sure that you're paying attention, right? I want to see where you are in your career right now, so I know who I'm speaking to. So let me know if you are, if you're a 2L, if you are a 3L, if you are a graduate and you've been out for a year or less, or if you recently graduated, probably already working as an associate, and you have been out for 2 years or less. Those are the people that I want to speak to. You're 2L, you kind of know where you are, where you're going. Some of you at this point in time, we're getting ready for summer. You already know where your internships are going to be, or you're finalizing that right now. If you are a 3L, a couple short months, you will be walking down that stage, diploma in hand, gearing up for the bar exam. Or if you just recently graduated, maybe just took the February bar, or actually it's coming up, or you get ready to take the February bar, you are thinking about, okay, what next? After the exam is over, what do I do? Or you're practicing and you're saying, my goodness, how in the heck did I get here? And how do I get out of this? So those are my ideal clients for this webinar. Those are the people I want to talk to. So I wanted to do a quick webinar. So let me see here. How many people are 2Ls? Okay. How many people are 3Ls? Okay. Okay. That means this is great. This is great. I really like the results I'm seeing. So this is perfect. This webinar is perfect for you. So I feel great. I feel great that I can give you good advice and that you're in the right place. So I promised you a couple of things when you signed up for this webinar, and I want to go ahead and deliver on my promise. If you know me, you know that integrity is a big part of what I do. And so I want to give you what I promised. Just as a little roadmap, there are 5 different things I wanted to do, and I have a juicy bonus for you at the end. I wanted to talk to you today on how you leverage your current skills and your experiences, right? So you start earning money as a lawyer from day one. I wanted to talk to you about how you can get the necessary capital you need for you to start your own law firm. Thirdly, I'm going to talk to you about how to avoid pitfalls that could wreck your law firm from the beginning. I will also show you top 3 challenges that you may encounter while you start running your own law firm. Not only will I show that to you, I will tell you how you can overcome those challenges. And number five, I'm going to do a little bit of mixture in here. I want to tell you how you can gain visibility, how you can build business relationships, how you can get referral sources and generate high paying clients. These are all things that I do currently right now in my practice that are working today. This is not something, that's been done before. It's something that's working currently right now, 2016. And then as a bonus, if you're a law student, I want to tell you things you should be doing right now before you graduate, things that will actually help you and set you up for success. All right, sound fair? All right, so let's talk about how you leverage your current experience and your skills to get started as a new lawyer. You're probably thinking, I'm still in law school. I don't know anything. And even if you graduate, trust me, when I started working, I still knew nothing. I knew enough to pass the bar exam, but I didn't know how to put the forms together and what, civil procedure sounded so nice and esoteric on paper, but actually putting it in practice and seeing how that works, total game changer. So let's start with what you know and where you are right now. When I was looking for how to figure out the practice areas, I took a look at my best subjects in law school. What really appealed to me? Because you're going to be spending so much time around this material and around this information. You want something that lights you up. You want something that you enjoy. So what was your best subject in law school? For me, it was all about cyber, was all about moot court. I enjoyed moot court, which is why I do a lot of litigation today. It was something I really enjoyed. I love the adversarial process. I love thinking on my feet. I love the time that it takes to do research to find out, different angles to a case. I like investigating. I like coming up with little themes. I mean, the OJ case, if it doesn't fit, you must acquit. I like putting together slangs like that. So for me, moot court was perfect. I had a Cali Award in moot court. I had Cali Awards in litigation, trial practice, and in cyber law. So cyber law comes into play now when I do businesses that are getting started. We talk about their intellectual property. We talk about copyrights, trademarks, that sort of thing. So you're wondering today, where do I get started from? How do I know what I'm good at? Start with what you know. Take a look at your transcript. Take a look at the subject that made you light up, that you loved reading about, that you loved researching. You loved those cases. If it's torts, perfect. Become a personal injury attorney. Based on what you love or what's a good or great area for you in law school, you can then build a practice area around that. For you, if that was criminal law, you can build out a criminal practice area. Now, even in criminal law, there might be places that appeal to you more, and then you can start to niche yourself, right? So if in criminal law, you preferred more habeas corpus, you preferred doing all that appellate work, briefing that material, you could then become that type of criminal attorney. If in criminal law you preferred misdemeanors, felonies, you didn't really float your boat, or murder cases, you were like, yeah, I don't want that responsibility of someone's life in my hands. You could have a criminal law practice that only deals with misdemeanors or only felonies or stuff like that. So don't think that, oh, now criminal law was my best subject. Now I've got to do everything under the sun in criminal law. You might not have to. Pick only the places that serve you. And here's why. When you are doing something that makes you happy, it translates into everything else that you do. When you have joy, when you are happy about the kind of work you do, you stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning making sure that you have dotted every I, crossed every T to give your client the best. When you're doing stuff that you're just going through the motions and you're not happy about, you don't give good quality work, which in turn leads to an unhappy client, which now word of mouth gets out because people spread bad news faster than they spread good news, right? And so that now affects your reputation in the community, which in turn affects your bottom line negatively. So doing what you do and doing it well and in an area that you have already demonstrated an ability to excel, that will be my advice for you on starting now. What kind of skill do you have? And then get in touch with that professor. Tell them this is what I want to do. Your professors have a wealth of information. Start tapping them now. They can tell you the best research engines to use. They can tell you the best treatises to read. They have contacts in the community. They have past students who are doing very well, probably running their own law firms that you can network with. Get in touch with your professor. He can write you that resume, that reference letter, that recommendation letter. He could be the one to make the call to the other person to say, you know what, bring this student in on this particular case. So find your practice area, and get in touch with that professor, and start building that relationship, start networking. Another way that you can leverage what you do know now without, giving yourself heartache and looking for other things is to research your state bar. The state bar's website has a wealth of information. I am in Las Vegas, so locally we have a Nevada State Bar, which I sit on a couple of committees here because I like to be involved and have a pulse on what my state bar is doing. Researching the state bars, they have different avenues. There are places in different states where they have indigent defense councils. So these are like indigents who don't have enough money. There's a panel, there's a roster. You can get on that roster, and but on a rotation basis, you could get clients that way, right? For people in criminal law, there are sometimes where the DAs are conflicted out and they reach out to the civil community, and people in private practice to help out. Get on that list. You wouldn't know if that exists or not if you don't search the state bar. If you're already currently in practice and you're working for a law firm right now while you're dreaming of opening your own, you could speak to a partner. In every firm, there's usually a partner that you might gravitate towards or that you trust inherently. That person is someone that you want to probably reach out to in confidence and let them know where or what you're thinking in terms of, this is where I am at, this is what I know. Is this a good area to get into? What do you think? What is the pulse on the community? So those are two ways so far that you can actually leverage what you know right now. The other thing is, just as I mentioned before, network with your professors. Like I mentioned, they have a wealth of information. I used to go see my dean. I made it almost like an appointment every month at least to pop in and say, Dean Sweet, hey, how you doing? Just because I wanted my dean to know me. Can you imagine working for a firm and you have the recommendation letter of your dean? So network with your dean, network with your professors. My dean of academic affairs, I was a poor law student. I was a poor law student. Like I said, I didn't have anyone in my family who really was practicing law in the United States. My dean used to give me her old suits. And I don't think I've really ever shared this anywhere before, but I had hand-me-downs from my dean, who was a tiny little petite lady. And so we kind of wore the same sizes. And I went to her one day, I was like, you know what, I love it. And I love your wardrobe. And I heard you saying you were going to give it away. Give it to me. So for a lot of my 2L interviews, that is how I was able to manage that. I didn't have the money for new suits. Dry cleaning it was like up the question, ironing and all that good stuff while trying to study. Please. I had my dean give me a lot of her suits, a lot of her dresses, and that really boosted my wardrobe because she had quality stuff that I could not afford. And I looked great on my interviews. So there's so many things that you can get from networking. I had no shame in that. Poor law student here helped me, and she did. So another way that you can, besides, the couple of things I've discussed, you can also define yourself. This is very critical. Who are you as an attorney? And I don't think that a lot of people have taken time out to figure that out. Some might have the erroneous notion that, okay, when I start practicing, I'm going to know that. No, You figure it out now before you even get into practice, before you get into opening your own website. And here's why I say that. You want to know as an attorney, what are you about? Are you about helping people? Are you about the money only? Whatever it is, own it, and let there be no shame about it. Someone saying, oh, just being all about the money is bad. Well, if that's who you are, then that's who you are, honey. Wear it loud and proud. If you're all about helping people all the time, that's great. Own it, we're loud and proud. What I'm going to try and help you to do, though, is if you're just all about the money, help you have some heart and soul. Okay. If you're just all about helping people, I also need to bring you to a middle ground where you also know that this is a business and you can help people into penury and not paying your student loans, and then you can help nobody after that. Because if you are now stealing from your client funds or stuff to make ends meet, you will get disbarred, you will lose your license, and all that wanting to help people goes out the drain. So define yourself. Who are you as an attorney? As an attorney, I know I am committed to my clients and making sure that they get the best service in Las Vegas. But I am not about doing that in an unscrupulous manner, in a criminal manner, or in a manner that is unethical. So when clients like that do come to me, I know who I am as an attorney, and I show them politely that I am not the right candidate for whatever services that they require. So knowing who you are going in, I also know that I take Fridays off. Work-life balance is really extremely important to me. I have 2 little children. I like to see them during the day. I take Fridays, we get ice cream, we do things. That's who I am as an attorney. I'm an attorney who also takes care of herself just as much as she takes care of her clients. So define yourself. Define yourself before you get down on this path. And then lastly, something else that you can do is just figure out your past experiences. There are some of us who come to law school as a second career path. So you may have been in IT before you joined law school. You might then want to become a patent attorney. That would be a great way for you to put together your IT experience, right, with your legal experience. Or take, for instance, what your current experiences are. You might be going into a summer clerkship this summer. Experience everything. Make sure you rotate yourself around each department. Try and experiment, see what you like. Based on those current experiences, you might be able to say, this is not for me. Or I thought I liked criminal law, but I don't. Or I still like criminal law, but I like this certain aspect better. And while you're doing, and if you don't have an internship experience, not to fear, I got you. You don't have an internship lined up, this is what you do. You get up every morning and you go to court. Yes, I said that. You get up every morning, you get dressed, you put on a suit, and you go to court. Just because you're not getting paid for an experience right now doesn't mean that that experience will not pay up sometime in the future. Remember what I said in the beginning? You create your own dream. So if you don't have an internship lined up, don't go, woe is me. Get up every morning. You can take a look at your judge's court calendar. So if you like civil law and civil litigation floats your boat just like I do, go on the state's website. Look and see. In our state, we have Clark County. I look at the Clark County website. I look at district court. I say, okay, this court does civil business litigation. I look at judge. In our case, is Judge Gonzalez. I look at her calendar. Okay, she has XYZ matters on the court calendar on Wednesday at 9 a.m. Guess what? I take a notepad, I take a pen, I go in there and I sit there. Judge Gonzalez has to see me every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Do you think she's now beginning to get interested in who I am? Absolutely. After a while, you start talking to the clerks. They know you. You start talking to her JEA. The next thing you know, Judge Gonzalez knows you, and I have friends who've got an internship experience just by doing that. Okay, and if nothing else, you get to start seeing the big names in the business who are practicing in this area. Now you know such and such law firm was represented by such and such person. They made fantastic arguments, and Judge Gonzalez liked their arguments. Guess what you do? You get online, you research that law firm. You look and see who the partner was or who the associate was. You see them in court. You say hi. You start making small talk until you can say, do you mind if we do lunch? For the cost of lunch, you can pick their brains and get information on how to get started and start practicing in that niche area. Now you have someone, when a client walks in and you're not too sure, now you have that partner at XYZ law firm that you can call and ask questions. You see how this works? Make your experiences work for you. And if you don't have any, you create it. Another way, if you are not so comfortable going to a courthouse, if you know an attorney, you can approach an attorney and say, what cases do you have? May I assist you? How can I help you go to court? People say, well, but then I'm not getting paid. Get you a side job. Get you a job that on the side you can make money from Monday to Sunday, but Wednesdays or Thursdays or Fridays or whatever day you pick, you go to court on that day. If you're interested in probate, you do that. In our state, in our city, we do probate on Fridays. So if that's something that you're interested in, every Friday, 9:30, you be in the courtroom watching how probate goes down in real time and in real life. Okay, so this is how 5 different ways you can leverage what you know now for you to start making money. Because as much as you learn, now you can start to apply it. And the more you network and you have people you can talk to, you can ask questions, you can start looking at the forms. In many places, forms that are filed in court are public documents. If you went to court and you saw XYZ person from XYZ law firm argue a certain motion and argued it well, it behooves you to go up to the clerk of the courthouse, say, I want a copy of XYZ motion that was filed in this matter. They will give it to you. It's public. It's a public document. They will give it to you. Now you have a template for you to then create your own motion for summary judgment or your own motion for default judgment. You don't have to go looking for it. Some state courts websites actually have forms online, like self-help forms. Some don't. For some complicated matters, you might just want to sit down, look through a case, find out who argued what was successful, and model that. Monkey see, monkey do. A lot of my forms were created by looking at who was the best in the industry, paying whatever it was to get it from the clerk of the courthouse, a nominal fee, sometimes it's free, and then modeling my own templates after that. Guess what? When the client walks in and they have this particular crisis or this particular problem, and I produce that same information, of course, you double check, you do your own research, I model the same form, I get the same result. And I have a happy client who goes out and tells other people and they come back to me. That is how you start making money right away. By networking, you can also find someone who will say, you know what, I'm a big fish in this industry. I don't do these little cases. So when they come, it's nice to know you, and I can send those clients your way. A lot of bigger firms don't do all types of cases. If they know you as a person who does that, they will happily send you those cases. Okay, so now the one everybody wants to know, show me the money. I love that scene from Cuba Gooding Jr. and Tom Cruise, and he's like, show me the money. And this is the part that lights a lot of people up, or the part that actually makes people stop short of achieving their dreams. How do I get the money to start my own law firm? So we have all heard this, money doesn't grow on trees, which is true. I wish there was a money tree. I would have one sitting in my yard. So how do I get from broke law student to opening my own law firm? There are several ways that you can do this. You can tap your family and friends. A lot of people say, well, I don't come from rich families. I don't this and I don't that. Well, let's start with what you do have. Every year you get a Christmas gift, no? You can start from the beginning and start saying, you know what, this is my dream. And sharing with people what you're trying to do is so powerful. People around you who love you want to help you. Trust me. They want to help you. If you share with them what your vision is and you make it plain, I think that's something out of the Bible in Habakkuk, they will assist you. They will roll over. Do you know what it is for someone to say, I was able to help my niece achieve her dream of opening her own law firm? People want to be part, your family and friends especially, want to be part of your own success story. So give them a chance to do that. Tell them this is what you're doing. And for Christmas, instead of money, you want, I mean, instead of a gift, you want some money. You think $20 doesn't go a lot until it can buy you notepads, stamps, and paper or tissue paper. Every little bit helps. Another way you can get money besides your family and friends is to go the commercial route, right? Which is loans and banks. A lot of people go to small business administration and get a loan, or the SBA will then back a loan for you if you go to a bank. So going the traditional route, that involves you then having great credit, right? Cleaning up your credit, making sure that you have, I mean, besides your student loan, there's nothing you can do about that. But other debts that you can clear up, you want to try and clear that so you can get a loan from the bank. The other one is a mixture, and this is, I call it mixture because of crowdfunding. I actually wrote an article about this because I use crowdfunding to fund my book. So my book was created and printed and published based on funds that I got from crowdfunding. The only thing I would advise you to is there are some ethical considerations when you do crowdfunding. The ABA has some great opinions about this. And if you want this after the webinar, I can send those to you. Just shoot me a quick email. There is a good article on how to do crowdfunding in an ethical manner, because as you know, we have professional rules that say that you cannot be in business or share fees with non-lawyers. So they can assist you, you can give them maybe legal advice or something, but they cannot now own part of your own law firm. Okay, so getting money is really critical, but there are several different ways that you can get it, and this is just the tip of the iceberg of different ways you can try and get the capital. For me, when I got started, I knew that I needed $10,000 to get started. So creating a plan is crucial. I researched everything. So notepads, I researched furniture, table, desk. I put together what I needed for a printer, file cabinets, that sort of thing. There's also other ways to get capital that is in kind, and this falls in a mixture. In our state, we have a fund, like it's a program where if you're a new attorney or an attorney who's going through a crisis situation, they send out this big email blast and everybody pulls together to try and help you out. So when I had my first child and she was sitting in an incubator, so sick, and I had so much going on, I sent out a blast there. I got everything from furniture to file cabinets to notepads to papers to office supplies. I got everything. And so that was another way I was able to seed, start my law firm. People wanted to give me printers, which are so expensive. There are so many attorneys who are retiring in your community that you don't even know, and they would gladly give all of that stuff away. So tables, chairs, and all of that. So think of money. Start to think of money, not just in form of raw cash, but also in kind. If there are things that can be donated to you, and so you might not ask for money over Christmas. You might ask, I want to, can you guys get together and buy me a printer or whatever it is, a file cabinet. There are other ways to get what you need in kind rather than just in money. Find out in your community if there's a program like the one I mentioned that actually helps distressed attorneys who need like just a little bit of a boost or things to get up. Of course, there are some of us who have a lot of pride. It's nothing wrong in having pride, but you need to know where you are and where you're trying to go, and do not be afraid to be vulnerable and reach out. Again, there are so many people out there that you don't know who will bend over backwards just to help you. Reaching out to your state bar, which is how I found out about this program, is also a good must. It's something that you probably want to do. So those are a couple of ways for you to get capital. If you have any questions about that in the Q&A, please ask me. I would love to share as much more. So number 3, how do you avoid pitfalls that could wreck your law firm? Have a couple of them. One is you're trying to be a people pleaser. You want to help this person and you want to help that person and you want to help everybody that walks in the door. Please do not practice walk in the door law. That's when people walk in and, oh, I have a criminal case. Okay, I can do that. Oh, I have a probate case. Okay, I can do that. Oh, I have a divorce matter. Okay, I can do that. Now you're spreading yourself so thin, trying to learn diverse areas of law. And that is the quickest way for you to get a bar complaint and slowly but surely walk your way into disbarment. One of the rules of professional conduct says you have to be competent in an area you practice. Remember, I said earlier, you want to be in a subject area that you love already. Researching that would be a no-brainer. And there's a law of attraction in play there. When you start doing the things that you love, you start to attract more of those same things. You also want to focus. You don't want to try and help everybody and then help nobody. Again, remember, you worked so hard for that license. When you lose it, you help nobody, not even yourself. So know who your ideal client is. Who is the person you're meant to serve? If it's criminals, fantastic. If it's people who are doing startups, brilliant. If it's divorce, moms and dads, great. But just know your ideal client. This is the person I enjoy being around. This is the person I enjoy serving, and then serve those people. Make focused, concerted efforts to serve those people. Now, another bad pitfall is having the wrong foundation. And this could be so many things. When I say wrong foundation, it really stems back to lack of planning. Having a business plan is so critical, and being very careful in how you put it together. So they say people suffer from lack of knowledge, or from ignorance. And if you're ignorant about what you're doing, opening a firm, it's a business. If you're ignorant about that, you don't put the right things in place. So this could involve describing what your business goals are. So, and being realistic. In my first year, I want to make $10,000, or in my first month, I want to make $500. Don't ever start from zero. You want to start making money from day one. If you miss the mark a little bit, you know what? Then you challenge yourself on how can I do better. Don't ever say, oh, every business loses money. You don't have to. I didn't my first year. And I opened up, and in my first year, I worked really only 4 months. I got really sick in the hospital, but I was still bringing in money. So I didn't bring as much as I wanted to because I was sick and I didn't plan for that, but I still had money at the end of the year. I recovered every single dime I put in, and I was not in the red. So careful planning, that's how you get there. You want to describe what your business goals are. You want to describe the needs of your office, everything down to the last nitty-gritty. I'll tell you a story. When I first started my law firm, and this is a story that it's kind of like TMI, but I share it anyway because it really kind of shows you there's so many things that you don't know when you start a law firm. So before I started my firm, I worked for 2 other firms. You have secretaries, staff, all that good stuff. So one day I go to use the bathroom and there's no tissue paper. Whoops. Guess what? I now have to buy my own tissue paper for my own law firm. You see what I mean? There are little things that you might not think about. So as much as you can, write down everything that you can think, even down to little paper clips, erasers, whatever it is, put it down, because those little things are where the hidden cost might be, and you just don't know, and you just don't want that surprise. If you know exactly how much money you need, then you can start to work towards meeting that goal. Also, your location of your business is very important. You want to go where you have your customer traffic. Most law firms do things downtown, or most law firms try to concentrate their efforts downtown. That might not serve you if your clientele is not downtown. I have friends who do criminal law and they locate themselves downtown. It is perfect. They have their office right across from the criminal courthouse. So people walking out or going in can see them. That is perfect advertising, perfect location. They get a lot of people who walk in. Also, it makes it so accessible to them because they have to be in court at 7:30 in the morning. So, being so close to the office, they can run back, pick up a file, whatever, having that accessibility. That might not be for you. If you're doing probate law, you probably want to hang around a mortuary. Sounds creepy, but probably deals with dead people. So you probably want to start making affiliations with, a mortuary location, a place that, or build your office next to a senior care facility if you're doing wills, trust, probate, that sort of thing. So location is very critical, but it all starts from what you're going to be practicing, what your practice area is. And then there's some of us who just really love our community so badly we want to give back. And so knowing the history of that community, locating yourself in a central place or a place that has an emotional tie to the community, especially if you're practicing something like civil rights law, having yourself in a place that has a traditional civil rights sentiment could be the key for you getting tons of clients. So location is very important, knowing where you are, and then also setting up the right business entity. This will be a topic for another day. Should I have an LLC, a PLLC, or an incorporation? Why does it matter? All of that good stuff. I will say this: the proper or better ways that you can set up your law firm, you can do a PC, which is a professional corporation. Only us as attorneys get that P. Instead of just a corporation with an ink, we get a PC. So you could just be an LLC, and that all that depends on how you want to draw your taxes. Or you could be a PLLC, which again is a professional limited liability company. Any of those structures is great. What I do not encourage is for you to do this as a solo practice, just because of the liability that you open up yourself to in the beginning. So, but if you absolutely have to choose, I need to get started, I don't have the money to do the LLC and all of that, you can always start as a solo and then switch. But I will advise you don't be a solo for no more than a year, because during that first year you're probably building up your clientele, building up your money. But once you start hitting some real high numbers, you want to start getting that protection you need. Another pitfall that people have is having inadequate capital. I cannot stress this enough. Not only do you want to get money to stay in business, you want to be realistic about also being in business. So get enough money to get started just so that you can flop out. It's not a good plan. You want to get enough money to get started and then also stay in business. So those first 6 months, that first year is really critical. So when you're putting together your business plan, you want to factor that in, so that you are not now scrambling and then taking any case that walks in the door, which will eventually hurt you, because now you would have spread yourself so thinly and doing so many things that you don't want to do and become unhappy and start making mistakes. The fourth thing is having the wrong mindset. Why are you really starting a law firm? What is the true reason behind that? I want you to dig into your why. Right? Why are you starting this law firm? If it's just to make money, there are many other ways you can make money. Many, many other ways that does not involve you abusing the trust of the public. If it's just because you want to help people, honey, you can become a nurse. You can help people by saving lives. So get really real with yourself. Get 100% honest with yourself. Why are you doing this? And then check your motives. If you're doing this for the wrong reasons, you will not be successful in business. And so these are all things that could wreck yourself when you get started. And the last and most important is not treating your firm as a business. Most of us treat our firms like hobbies. When I first started, I treated my firm like a hobby until I had a kid, and I knew that diapers and milk cost money, and I figured, okay, now it's time to get serious. Don't treat your firm like something you just do on the side or as an afterthought. There's a great program out there. It's called B School by Maria Forleo. It's Maria, and the last name is Forleo. She has a great online crash course on how you can build. It's a crash course of being an entrepreneur, a crash course on running your own business. Some of us don't have MBAs. I know a lot of friends who did like the JD MBA, but a lot of us don't, and a lot of us don't have the time or the money, funds to get into more debt to go learn how to run a business. But at least you should have a foundation, and there are so many courses online that could help you, because there are so many things involved in running a business. I mean, there's finance, there's purchasing, there's selling, there's all kinds of stuff that goes into running a business. Another thing about refusing to treat your firm as a business is also poor management. Not regularly studying what your data is. What's your market data? What's your customer data? Strategic thinking, conducting research, being innovative in expanding your frontiers. all those go into running a business. So to avoid those pitfalls, you want to be strategic in your thinking. You want to confront any change as soon as it happens. You want to do research on the market, analyze that data, constantly get feedback from your clients so you can constantly improve your services and pivot if you need to. So there are top three challenges I think you're going to encounter when you're doing all of this, while you run your own law firm. The biggest one out there is your work-life balance. So elusive but very achievable, and there are many ways you can do it. I started having more work-life balance when I recognized and realized that I couldn't do everything by myself. Can we have it all? I say a resounding yes, but probably not at the same time. And unless they start cloning people anytime soon, you are only one person and you can only be in one place at one time. We're not omnipresent, omnipotent, all of that good stuff. So you can duplicate yourself, sans cloning, by getting you proper assistance. In my case, I have a good legal secretary and I have a wonderful VA, a virtual assistant. I have an airtight schedule and I try to keep it, within my schedule. If it's not on my calendar, it's not on my schedule, probably will not get done. So having that and knowing every day the top three things I need to accomplish for that day. And then also I schedule time to be with my family. Yes, sounds sad, but I put it on so that I know that that time is blocked. My mind knows that that time is blocked and I am present with my family. Also having a diligent work ethic so that I know that every minute counts and it doesn't make me like a robot or, this is time to eat now. I don't become a robot, but it helps me. It keeps me in check, keeps me balanced, keeps me very productive. So that's a challenge, having work-life balance, but there are ways that you can overcome that. Another thing is managing your firm. Getting the right tools and people in place is absolutely critical. If you do not manage your firm will manage you. If you do not manage your firm will manage your life. If you do not manage your firm will manage you. And when your firm is the manager of your life, it equals very unhappy lawyer. So get the right, so many products out there on the market right now. So many information that you can have. Oh, I think I'm going a little bit too fast in my slide. There's so much information that you have out there now on the market on how you can, different tools for billing, different tools for time management, and then getting the right people. Like I said, I have a VA, I have a legal secretary, getting the right products for scanning your papers so you don't die in the avalanche of paperwork that is law. And then just managing your expansion. That's another challenge that you might have. And then lastly, just making sure that you get out of your own way. You, surprisingly, shocker, will be your own probably challenge. Just telling yourself that I can do this and believing that you're enough and that you know enough right now to be the best lawyer that you can be. And so for more juicy stuff, this number 5, I wanted to teach you how to gain visibility. The best way you can do that is networking. Not only networking, giving workshops. I have little workshops that I do every now and then just to introduce the community to myself, to let them know who I am. I give speeches around the country. I just recently came back from a Western Regional Bourser and convention. I do that also here locally. And I am in a couple of clubs here just so that people know who I am. They know me, they like me, they trust me, and they start, seeing me on a regular basis. And then another thing you need to do is to also build relationships and hang out where lawyers do not hang out. Okay, don't always go to places where lawyers hang out because then everybody's a lawyer. You're not trying to get lawyers unless your business is defending other lawyers. You don't always want to be around other lawyers. So in my case, I have, little kids, so I'm around schools and stuff like that, and you join, the local moms club and all of that good stuff. I have friends who get businesses from doing yoga. I have friends who get businesses from being on swim teams, being in Rotary clubs. Seek outside relationships outside of the legal field. And that's a great way for you to start building, and then, but you need to know who your ideal client is so that you can tell those folks. And then to uncover hidden referral sources, I have a lot of people who I refer stuff to and who refer stuff back to me. I partner with other lawyers who don't do what I do but might meet my ideal clients. So, and then there are also a couple of paralegals who actually send businesses to me. So I have a friend who does business formation only. He doesn't do any of the litigation. But because he formed the documents and did the corporate documents for these businesses, they always come back to him when things arise. But when it comes to the litigation part, he doesn't do it. And so he sends that stuff to me. That is a referral source. That is a referral partnership. Those are people that can refer stuff to you. You can talk to your pastor, anyone really who, as long as you know who your ideal client is, they then know what you do and how to get clients to you. And then lastly, for you to generate high paying clients, when you get to a point where you feel comfortable, you want to develop an exclusive program. I have a VIP program now where I have just certain clients and they get VIP privileges and access to me. These are high paying clients, high worth clients. They form the lifeblood of my law firm. And so when you get to that certain level that you feel that you can start charging premium dollars for certain services for certain types of clients, you have now hit the jackpot, because you can then rest assured every month a paycheck is coming in from certain clients. Okay, so I was gonna do another quick poll just to see how many of you are, a couple of months, 6 months away from starting your own law firm, a year from starting your own law firm, 2 years from starting your own law firm, or 2 years plus. I'm just gonna do a quick poll real quick and check my time so we can see, because we are pretty much at the end here, and I just wanted to see where we are. All right, that's perfect. That is perfect. Okay, so there are a couple of you who are starting out pretty soon. So what I'm about to share will be great information to you. I am having a quick 30 days program to help you get from where you are right now to starting your own law firm. And some of you say, I'm only 6 months away, I'm only a year away. That's fine. You want to get the information now, or at least start working on the things that you need to, so that in 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, you are ready to go, airtight, perfect. So in my 30-day program, it's really 4 weeks. Week 1, we're going to delve into your mindset, your wealth consciousness. A lot of us have a money story that we don't even know about. A lot of us have issues surrounding money, and we need to clear those blocks and really start developing ourselves personally, so that the rest of the information I share to you, you are ready to receive it. There's a certain mindset that you need for you to start running your own law firm. Okay, week 2, we're going to decide on your area of law. What is your zone of genius? Where is that special sweet spot that you can help people and charge them premium dollars for? And how you can start building relationships in your everyday life, in your everyday practice, starting today, that will turn into sales for you. In week number 3, we're going to talk about the proper legal setup. We didn't get a chance to talk about it all today, but we're going to go in depth in that in week 3. How to hire staff. We're going to talk about your location. Should you rent or do a timeshare option? How do you obtain your business license? How do you make the dollars you have stretch? And how do you decide even how to charge yourself? All this depends on where you're located, what's your region, what's your experience, what your area of practice is. All of those things, we're going to firm that up in week 3. And for week number 4, we're going to talk about marketing. Marketing is the lifeblood of your business. That is how you make money. So we'll talk a little bit about the do's and don'ts of marketing, of sales. I can share with you what has worked for me, how websites are so important and how they can help you make more money. We'll also talk about how to budget every month so that you stay afloat. There's a statistics that says only 33% of businesses fail in their first 2 years, about 56% fail in their first 5 years. That is not going to be you when you go through this program. Benjamin Franklin also said, if you fail to plan, then you're planning to fail. What this program is going to help you do is make sure that you have all the information you need so that you plan right. And there are things that you don't know that you don't know. This program will help set you up for that. It's a 4-week program, like I mentioned earlier, and you're probably wondering, how much does this cost? For a small investment of $497, it's an investment in yourself. This will pay back dividends. Just the information I will share with you on rent alone and how to avoid paying high fees, you will get this money back. So you can either do a one-time payment of $497, or you can do two payments of $257 each, which ends up costing you about $15, $17 more if you do the two payments. And of course, we accept all major credit cards. We don't accept goats or chickens though, or in-kind payments, but it's a small investment, like I mentioned, of $497. So the question is, are you willing to invest in yourself for you to get the results that you need? So if you are, we'll talk about that again at the end. But before I left today, I just wanted to share you a couple more quick bonus information. As I promised, that there are 5 things that every law student should be doing right now before they they um, they before they leave law school. So just again, if you are interested in the little program that I shared, the opportunity, you can go to my website at www.mylegalbestfriend.com, and you can find out more information about that. If you want to get the book I mentioned earlier, you can do so when you register. So for the first 10 people who register right now for my program, they'll get a free copy of my book, personally signed, authored by me, and they will receive a digital copy as well in their packet. So again, www.mylegalbestfriend.com. If you're interested in that program, you can look at it. So it's from law student to lawyer, successful lawyer. All right, so the 5 bonus things that I promised you, ding, ding, ding. All right, is 5 things you should do now prior to graduating law school. The first thing I think you should do is get into a clinic or a pro bono program. Many law schools have these. A lot of them are on waiting list. A lot of them take time. But you want to get into a clinic because if you don't have an internship lined up or you don't feel comfortable going to court, having a clinical program is the best way to do this. You have a professor who will pretty much hold your hand and will be there to answer any questions you have along the way. And so they'll be there with you for client intake all the way to cases going to court, or a pro bono program. So think about yourself like a medical student who is practicing on cadavers, right? But in real time and in real life. So I highly suggest you get into a clinic or a pro bono program. Another thing you should be doing right now is branding yourself. Brand yourself. I heard a lady say this, Ray Mitchell. She said, get your own domain name, and I co-signed that. Right now, whatever your name is, get that domain name. $10, a couple of dollars. Start to own your own brand. I have a friend who was able in 2008, during that recession, to get even more money. While they were laying other attorneys off, she got more money because she had branded herself, had her own blog, had her own viewers, had a whole portfolio, turned that into a chance for her to get a book deal, and made so much money doing that by just having her own domain name, her own blog, and branding herself. So start to brand yourself right now. You don't have a business card, get you one. Don't wait until you graduate for some. You can make business cards easily nowadays. So brand yourself. Start putting together your own lifeblood, your own portfolio is the one thing that you carry with you right now. Blog now. Put stuff out there on the internet. Start polishing yourself as the expert, the person to go to for information. Another thing you should start doing now is getting life experiences. You want to be well-rounded, well-seasoned, because you are going to be serving all kinds of people from all walks of life. So travel, get other life experiences, wait tables, do whatever. But you just don't want to be a one-track attorney. You want to be someone who is personable. You want to have stories to share, anecdotes to share with your clients. And that comes by you living your life first. I've said this before, I say it again, know thyself, define yourself, know who you are, even before you graduate. Don't think, oh, I don't know who I am, I'm just a baby attorney. You need to start setting yourself up for the way you want others to treat you. And I'm not talking about be arrogant and, oh, I know everything, but start defining your parameters now of what you will do, what you will not do, where your ethics go, how far your morality goes, because there are so many things that will happen to you and will test you when you start practicing. So knowing yourself right now. And so finally, I just wanted to let you know that another thing you should do right now is network. Obvious, isn't it? You don't know this, but right now you're networking with people in your class that are going to be your next senators. You're networking with people who are going to be your next politicians. You're networking with people who are going to run for office. You're networking with people who are going to become successful law owners. You're networking with people who knows, are going to be with the next big startup like Facebook and do great things. You don't know who's sitting right next to you, to your left, to your right. So putting forth good work, being diligent, putting your best foot forward every day, being a professional, even right now in law school. Start to build your credibility, start to build your ethics, start to build your street cred, your legal cred. Start to build that now, because you don't know who you are impacting and you don't know who is watching you. You don't know where people are going to be. I have friends now who are judges. Can you imagine standing in front of them and they knew you as the party animal in law school, or the whatever kind of person in law school? Can you imagine submitting a brief to that person, the kind of results you're going to get because of their perception of you? People don't think about this, but in law school, you're setting yourself up pretty much for the rest of your legal career, especially if you stay in that town, city, state. So start networking now, and your networking doesn't have to be active. It can be passive, just by being who you are. All right. So I just wanted to make sure that you knew those 5 juicy little things that you could do right now. Hopefully some of them were so obvious you're pinching yourself and saying, why didn't I do that right now? Um, so I just want to say thank you at this point for sticking with me till the end. I hope that this was very informative for you. I hope that this was answered a lot of questions that you had. I hope you received value from this webinar. So I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear something that you feel, oh, probably I should cover, or even just the greatest thing you took out of this webinar, or, hey, Augusta, this was really helpful. You can email me at augusta@mylegalbestfriend.com. And if you just want to find out more information about me, again, that's www.mylegalbestfriend.com. That is where I do all of my mentoring. If you want to check me out and see what kind of law I practice, you can go to www.masseylawvegas.com. I really want to hear from you. And then, so again, don't forget to stick around and ask me any questions that you may have. I apologize that we ran a little bit over, but if you have time, stick around, ask me any questions that you may have. All right. All right, thank you. So this was how to build your own law firm as a new lawyer. All right, I'll be taking questions now. All right, so let me see, are there any questions? Let's see. Okay, so I have a couple of questions here. How do I sign up for my program? Okay, so you can go to www.mylegalbestfriend.com and sign up for the program there. There are 2 options, like I mentioned. You can either pay $257 for each payment, or you just pay one time fee. Okay. Yeah, and the program, so saying when does the program get started? That's a very good question. I don't think I shared that. Good question. So the program will get started March 2nd, which is about 2 weeks from now, and then it will run for 4 weeks, so we end at the end of March. So if that's something you are interested in, you can get it. Okay, so I have another question here that says, how do I get started on landing an internship in a different state? That is a great question. So for me, I actually went to law school in Memphis. I landed my internships in Nashville and in Las Vegas and in Atlanta. So yes, this is up my alley. How do I get internship in other states? So there are a couple of ways. And let me give you a couple of suggestions. If you're involved in your local ABA chapter, if you're African American, there's a Bolster chapter. If you are in PAD, which Phi Alpha Delta, if you're involved in any kind of association that is national, you want to reach out to the president of that association in the state that you're trying to go to. Okay, you want to reach out and say, hey, I'm such and such, I'm in such and such law school, I was trying to come over to such and such place, what do I do? Another thing you can do is you can reach out to the law school there. Now people say, oh, why would I do that? They've not yet finished helping their law students. Why would they help me? You will be surprised. Again, what I have found in my experience is there are so many people who want to help you. Reaching out to the career center there, trying to see what information they have is not a bad idea. Another thing is if there's a local state bar, you want to reach out to the state bar there and say, I'm from out of town, I'm trying to get an internship. Do you know any law firms in the state that are giving out internships? For me, how I landed the 3 different internships I did, I went to, I can't remember the name of it right now, but it was like a, how would I call it, like a regional law firm, big Lollapalooza of different firms who came to one central location. And I can't remember the name, but there are several like that have different law firms who pull together. You send your resume in, they take a look at it, then they invite you to come for an interview. I know also like different organizations like the ABA, when they have their conventions, they also have kind of like a go-see, which is lack of a better term. A go-see is in the fashion industry, but they have like a big thing where all this different law firms from around the states come in, and you can try to see who is coming in from a state where you want to go. Some states also have in their state like a big conference where they have different, or a state bar conference where they have different law firms coming in to interview students. And then lastly, if you have like an idea or an inkling the kind of law firm that you want to work for, you can always reach out to them and say, I will be in the area, I would like to come sit with a partner or have coffee or whatever it is, and see if you guys are doing a summer internship, or how does your summer internship work. So those are a couple of ways that you can be in a different state and actually do internships in another state. Thank you for that question. That was a good question. Okay, so let me see. I'm seeing another question. So, why did I decide to open my own law firm? Oh, that's very good. It's a very good question. I decided to open my own law firm because I felt that there was a way that I could serve clients much better than I thought was being provided to them then. I had a passion for serving certain kind of clients. I seem to attract a lot of female entrepreneurs. And when you're working in a firm and there are a bunch of males and, women, I guess we kind of speak a different language, I felt like I was able to connect with them more, and I was able to, feel what they were feeling and tap into that, which made me better able to provide better services. So that is why I went out and opened my own law firm, and I haven't looked back since. All right. Well, I think we've gone a few minutes over. I don't see any more questions. All right. So I just want to say again, thank you if you stuck around to the end with me. I so appreciate it. I hope this was valuable. I hope to see you at another webinar, and let's continue this conversation. Thank you.